First tonight, a focus on reforming the state's child welfare system.
A new steering committee is examining foster care and juvenile justice placement practices in Michigan. News 8's Lindsay McCommell spoke to the senior deputy director this afternoon about its mission. Lindsay?
Sue and Brian, today was day one of meetings between agency members, court representatives, and perhaps most importantly, youth and parents who have experience within the system. The committee formed in response to Cornelius Frederick's death at Lakeside Academy in Kalamazoo, and also comes after the state received several recommendations in July from experts in the field. I spoke about some of those with Julian Chang this afternoon.
We knew that for that to actually have an impact in Michigan, we needed to come together as a community to figure out what that meant and how we were going to actually put into action some of those recommendations.
And with also incorporating youth and families, is that feedback or perspective that maybe hasn't been received previously, or what has that process looked like in terms of reform and checking in?
It really was one of the stronger recommendations, and I think probably the most important recommendation that we walked away with. This is not just philosophical in nature. It's also not just financial or programmatic. These are human beings whose lives we are impacting every single day through our decisions, and that we have to have them be part of the conversation.
A few things stood out to me with reading that report from July, specifically that the recommendation being no more than 16 youth live in one facility. So how do you go from talking about this and really implementing and making sure those on the ground are following this?
Quite frankly, 16 was a compromise. There was one of the authors who thought it could be 40 and another author who thought it should be 8, and they kind of met in the middle based on best practices in other fields, including Medicaid, right? The good news is that most of our facilities actually serve fewer than 40 kids, right? I mean, they are not the mega facilities that Lakeside was, where Cornelius was last placed. And so I think we are starting ahead of the curve in that most of our providers have already made that decision for themselves to focus on a smaller group of kids that they can work with and have authentic relationships with.
As a reminder, Lakeside had 125 youth living there when Fredericks died. The committee as a whole, which is about 55 people or so, will be meeting monthly. There are also 7 work groups within the committee that will be meeting weekly. Sue.